Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Skóra, also known as Islands in Front, and today we'll be taking a look at my live match against none other than TSP Jędrek Schmidt, one of the most powerful Polish wizards out there. Now, as a reminder, I played Common Magic Series tournament Saturday and Sunday, where I managed to be second in the solos event, and then I won the next day in trios with Sodek and Franek. As you can see here, I played fairies and we had 5 land spy and Mardu synthesizer, and I finished converted 12-1 after the event. I played this list, which you can listen more about in one of my previous videos. Links you can find everywhere. And you can also find my cheat sheet for post-ban metagame as well on my Metafy. Now, let's get into the action. So, this is my semi-final from the solos event. And I'm playing against Jędrek. Jędrek is on mono blue Delver / Terra. So let's see how the game plays out. I will also show some hands to the camera. So we have a handshake, and I go with what creature pass. Now, if you read my guides, you know. If you don't, I'll tell you. I put a ton of emphasis on having an early ninja. Like, this is, like, I would mull a 6 easy if it doesn't have a ninja. Like, it just has to. Because the whole idea to exploit this matchup is to get going before they play their stuff. They will be cantripping while we're establishing creatures. And the moment they start dropping terrors, we're already going. So then you can accrue card advantage with the ninjas. You can start chomping away later if you need to. And you semi-bind their terrors because they can attack, because you can attack back with the ninjas. I'm on the play because I was highest seed, and I'm happy to keep a hand with turn 1 creature, turn 2 ninja. So we do that. My opponent goes brainstorm on upkeep, and then they flip the Delver, and they add a ponder, so that doesn't really matter. So a flip Delver is annoying because it actually kills every single creature in our deck. And if they leave it to block, we have a hard time passing through it. Now, Ninja of Deep Hours is at least able to kill it. Now, I'll play another land. I'll happily go to attacks because I know I have the trick, Bright Barrow Intruder, and now I feel very confident. Now I added the Miscreant I had and play Off One Mind. Triple spell on the third turn. That's really good for me. Now, always remember not to get carried away too much when you're ahead. So I always keep count of the cards in the opponent's graveyard for the terrors. So I know which turn could potentially be a terror turn, realistically. So they pass back. I'm happy to untap, deploy my lands, because I really want to play as many spells as possible, especially when I'm drawing more and more. And I can start playing a bit more defensively. To kind of, I've already got my plan set up. I just need to thwart theirs. So the Lorien revealed, they've got 3 spells in the graveyard, so they could tap out for Terra next turn, which would of course be awesome for me, and I would just win, probably. And they do, and I do, and we do. So that was clean. And I wanted to show this game just to show you how important that ninja was. It was insanely important, right? I opened my own guide even here. Although the sideboarding is pretty clean. You just side in binds here. So that's the main takeaway I want to talk to you about. So you really want to prioritize the ninjas. Now, we shuffle up. I look at my 7, and I want to mulligan it. But then I ask if I can show it to the camera. So this is the 7 I mulligan. Really important. Double land, removal, 1-drop, double counter spell, Off One Mind. I mulligan it, right? Immediately, basically. And the casters, because there were casters actually in the top 8, you can turn on subtitles and auto-translation. One of the casters was surprised, like, this looks like a perfectly good hand to me, right? You got Strix, then you hold up a counter spell, you've got Bind the Monster for later. However, what can I tell you? It's really that easy. You just keep hands with ninjas. You just do. So I mulligan this because it's actually not getting anywhere. Like they go, let's say go cantrip. So the best opening for us is if they go cantrip, right? Not Delver, cantrip. I go Strix. They go cantrip. I go sure, land pass, and then they can just do their thing. If they play double cantrip, I'll probably spell slot one of them. Let's say it even resolves. What about there? Then I want turn 3 of one mind for full. I don't even have the lands. Do I pass back again with a counter? That's just not really getting me anywhere. And at some point, they will just drop double Terra or even a single Terra with some spell piece or something, and it's really bad for me. So I ship this back, and we'll see what I open. Now, thankfully for the chat, I will open my hand, keep the hand, and I'll show you what I bottom. But I also want all of us to think about what to bottom, because that's also another very key decision. So I say keep, and let me pause in the right moment because I was pretty fast there. Come on, Scura, show. And again, playing the semifinals. So again, the pressure is also on a bit. I'm also playing against TSP Jędrek, one of the most powerful, just Polish wizards, but also blue wizards. So my hand is Counterspell, 3 lands, Ninja, Strix, off one mind. Right? What do you bottom here? You can pause to think. I'll tell you, I bottomed Counterspell. So the logic is, I want to have lands. Like I will wish to draw lands later probably, because you won't operate on 2 lands. It just won't work. So I want all the lands. My curve is going to be now on the draw. Land creature, turn 2 ninja, turn 3 Strix off one mind is great. You could say, sure, but you can also go Strix Counterspell. Yes, but you're not counterspelling anything that's not a Terra immediately, right? So it actually would mean I would skip a turn, because I don't think that would be a Terra turn. I also really want to get ahead. It's not an easy decision, admittedly. I wasn't happy to put down Counterspell, but that's what I did. Opponent actually starts off with a cantrip, not Delver, so that's really good for me. And then they keep all of them on top. I draw a card and I deploy my Harrier Tricks. Now, it's really important sometimes when you play against your opponent, especially your friend, is to make a content play. So this is my content play for fans. I tap my own Strix, but don't do this at home. Remember that Harrier Strix can tap anything, and it doesn't look at the current state of the card. So you can just target a tapped island, and it works just fine. But I decided to show my opponent, I'll tap my own Strix. Yeah, let's do that. So they ponder again, and then they play Delver. But I couldn't be fast. I go, boo, boo, boo. Immediately ninja in and draw. I expect this Delver to flip. I don't have Brian Barrow in my hand, so that doesn't work. They take a look, actually, so they couldn't set this up. So it doesn't flip. Then they shuffle. Then they do a couple of things. I'm keeping track of the instants and sorceries, and now the count is 4. I play a land. I attack in. It, of course, connects. I draw. And I'm thinking I'm doing a post-combat Harrier Tricks just because I want to deploy a non-human to play off one mind, which could get spell pierced because my opponent floated mana, but it didn't. And then after this, I might add another creature. So yeah, I add another creature just to capitalize on the fact that my opponent doesn't have anything going just yet. You need to punish those draws. I expect the Delver to flip. Like basically I play as if it's going to flip every single time. They immediately mental note, and they flip a gut shot among other spells. I expect to see some terrors very soon. We'll see if we see any, because if we don't, then that's, of course, awesome for us. They play land, they play another mental note, and they ditch deep analysis, and they do play Terra. So that was a decent turn for my opponent. Cantripped a bunch, flip Delver, play Terra. So what do we do now? Well, even if I have Brian Barrow Intruder, if I attack now, they will just block with Terra. So that doesn't really work. However, I pay 3 mana. Normally, you can just pay 1 and then see if the opponent remembers the ward. But like, we know each other with Jędrek. I know he knows I know. So we just play it clean with no like stuff like that. I take the damage, and then I'm thinking, because I actually do have Brine Barrow. I'm thinking because if they block Ninja like I really want to, I get a clean exchange. But if they don't block the Ninja, I kind of don't. But they do. So that's a huge blowout for them. Huge blowout. And I pass back. Now, they could punish me because they're at 16. They still have plenty of life. And they blocked. So like I didn't draw that many cards from the Ninja. They go deep analysis. 3 life isn't nothing, but this game will come down to the board presence. They ponder. I'm really happy about that as well. And they see Mystic Delver Ponder, I think. So they play Deem Inferior on the Ninja. Double check the wording. And I do want to have access to those ninjas because at some point they will clog the battlefield, and so I want to be able to attack in the air and then switch it out. They play Delver that is about to flip. But thankfully, I have Off One Mind in my hand, so I draw the ninja. And now another important moment. I draw the ninja, I play a land, I go to attacks, and I don't ninja. So this could be a sign of strength or weakness, depending how you can look at this. The way I look at this is an insane sense of strength, because I'm saying I don't even need to ninja. I'm also asking myself, how do I lose from this position? So if I ninja here, I've got 2 mana left. They play Terror, I play Counterspell, they play any interaction of theirs. It's kind of tough. If they have a flip Delver as I expect, and a Terror on the battlefield, I'm kind of cooked. So I think not ninjaing here will win you this game. And ninjaing here could straight up lose you this game. So, they do flip, as we expect. And let's see what happens. They play 5 mana Lorien Reveal, so I'm happy to counter that. So, I was ready for the worst outcome. Anything less than that, of course, is splendid for me. But I planned for the worst because I could. That's important. I could. If you can't, like I showed you in the other video with John the Wildfire, you don't. So it's not that easy. You don't always account for the worst outcome. But here I could. So now I'm really happy about this position. I still have the ninja. I attack with everything. Now I should probably skip this, but I want to show you I'm very much human. I'm Fey most often, but sometimes I'm human. So I'm definitely Off One Mind. They perform blocks. I pick up Ninja. I pick up Brine Barrow, and then I replay Brine Barrow to make the Delver smaller. And I did it very fast, kind of forgetting it doesn't do anything because it still has 1 power. I mean, you can see my hands like, ugh. Because I missed this in the moment. I was like, come on, really? Like, the moment I'm kind of ahead, 1 game away from the final. So I was like, sure. Too bad. Okay, that happened. Now, you have to shrug it off and continue playing, right? Don't get bogged down too much. So, they're at 5 life, and I'm adding to the battlefield kind of freely, because I know they cannot play, like, mass removal spells. But also, at some point, like now, if they go, like, multiple terrors, it kind of stops mattering at some point because I can fly over them, like go wider, especially at a low life total of my opponents. 4 mana, I play Counterspell, and they play Brainstorm in response to the Counterspell. I say, sure, I'm keeping fingers crossed so they don't counter back because this could be dangerous. It resolves, so I'm happy. They thought Scour later. I'm like, okay, sure, that's easy peasy. They play a Terror, but I'm going pretty wide from this position, and now I just go Fairy Miscreant, draw a card. If I attack with all, something will die. So I have to calculate, like, if I attack with... you can probably find me here calculating a little bit. I'm like, okay, now these are not attacks. I'm thinking, okay, if I attack with these 2, they do this in blocks. If I attack with all the 4, then let's say this block this, they block this, okay, I'm just doing the math. And it's legal to take a bit more time to think about this, especially if this could be game winning. And I say, okay, log this in, attack with all. So we do the blocks. I pay 2 mana, I ninja one of them, and then I ninja the other one. And opponent goes down to a single life total, point of health. I lose both creatures. I just traded both creatures for more damage, and I'm still getting the draw back. And I've got 3 creatures against 2 creatures. I need to connect once. So I will add to the battlefield to just be able to connect at least once. I see bind the monster on top. I keep double top. I've got a lot of life total to work with. Opponents takes the draw, and they shake my hand. And this is how I advanced to my finals against Mono Blue Terra. So these games were very convincing, I would say, but they still highlight principles I want to show you, because it's about the principles. So don't make plays that are like obvious, right? Like the turn I did in Ninja. Like that was, I think, an important play to remember. Even though, again, the outcome was much of a less of a severity than could have. 2, keep hands that are matchup specific. Like the 7 I mulliganed, right? It had lands, removal, double counter spell, 1-drop, and even a draw spell. And I shipped it immediately, because that's not the hand that is going to win. And because I had the ninja, I had the draw, and because of that, they couldn't attack with Delva, and because they didn't, they had to block with Delva, which then walked them into Brine Barrow. Like, everything would be different if it wasn't for that ninja. So, thank you very much for watching this video and this analysis. Remember that you can check out my list in the description down below, alongside my guide to the specific list. I'll be working on Mono Blue going forward as well, especially after these results. I'm really pumped to work on it even more. When the meta kind of solidifies a bit more, I'll update my full guide, because if you want to, let's just click. I have a full guide, like 45-minute reading guide, like every single matchup is like with hands to keep and stuff. So I highly recommend you check this out. But for now, thank you very much for watching. And as always, please remember to hold my hand. Let's pass it together. And I will see you next time. Cheers. Boo.